In the name of Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful, I bear witness there's no God but God, and Prophet Muhammad is a slave and messenger, and I seek refuge in Allah from the rejected saying. So, in this video, I'll be discussing that Allah does no injustice to nobody, ever. That Allah is a unique creator of all that exists, and has power and dominion and perfect control of everything in existence and beyond. There's nothing that exists except Allah, the unique creator of all of this. That's why we are all one. We are all one in the unique creator of all that exists. We are united under Allah, under God, under Source, whatever name you like to call the Most High, the All-Powerful, the Almighty, the All-Knowing. So, and also tie this in with our Imam of our time, Imam Mahdi, the Mashiach, that he will help bring about the knowledge of Allah and bring about global dominion of Allah and bring, all the benefits of that, of prosperity and justice and equality into the world, as our world is filled with chaos, suffering, and injustice. And the reason for that is because we are not en masse obeying Allah, the unique creator of all that exists. We are living within a lot of us are living through our own desires. They want, freedom to do whatever they will. They feel like they know best, and corrections need to be made, inshallah. So we'll start with some Quran verses here. We'll go to chapter 2, verse 107. Do you not know that Allah alone belongs the sovereignty of the heavens and of the earth, and that you have, apart from Allah, neither a protecting friend nor a helper? So since Allah has dominion and full control over all things, that we are all one in God, that Allah ultimately is the ultimate protector and He is the ultimate helper, and that He has sovereignty over everything because Allah is everything. We are immersed in God. We can feel the presence of God all around us. And the more we live God, the more we express God, the more we remember God, the more happier, more vibrant, more light we will experience, and that light will shine through the world, and the falsehoods and the fear will vanish. So, that's the reason why I'm trying to make these videos more consistent, especially that I have a bit of time off, that to express the light of Allah, through my vessel, through what I've learned from the Quran and other, other ways that Allah teaches, to express that and to spread that light. So that's all the light of Allah. Allah, He is everything. So Allah, He does injustice to no one ever. So in my previous videos, I really reinforced that Allah regulates all affairs, Allah has power over all things, and Allah is our everything. So we're going to go to Quran chapter 18, verse 49. And on that day, which is the day of judgment, and on that day the record of their deeds will be exhibited before them. And you will see those who cut off their ties with Allah, fearful as to that which is recorded in it. They will say, Woe to us! What sort of record is this? It leaves out neither a small thing nor a great one, but has recounted everything. And they will find all they did confronting them, and your Lord does injustice to no one ever. So, we can see a lot of injustice in the world today, and Allah is saying here, He does injustice to no one. It is through the cause and effect that we see injustices in the world, as Allah says in chapter 95, verse 5, then according to our law of cause and consequence, we degrade him to the lowest of the low if he does evil deeds. So if we do evil deeds, it will degrade us, will lower our light and our knowledge, and we will be degraded and lowered by doing evil deeds or wrong deeds. So that is very vital to understand these divine laws, what the commandments of God, and what He wants from us, because obviously He's the all-knowing, He's the one who created everything. We're all one in God, and why wouldn't we want the best knowledge and the best information and the best guidance to live by? But a lot of people like to live through their desires, they want freedom. They want freedom to do whatever they want. Morality is relative, that, sinful things can seem beautified by the shaitan. So they are being duped and tricked by their own desires and lusts and by the whispers of the shaitan to think that their deeds are good, but eventually, in reality, they're very harmful and they pollute the earth and existence with their wicked and evil deeds. And obviously there are consequences to those actions, and the best thing is to repent and ask forgiveness from Allah, the unique creator of all that exists, and ask Him to help you and guide you. And Allah will lead you. He knows best how to guide. So Allah does injustice to no one ever. And everything is recorded in a book, as Allah says, even to the smallest little things, to the biggest things. And we will know this in the Day of Judgment. So, to understand this a little bit deeper, we're going to go to the story of Moses. And we're probably all very familiar with the story of Moses. And when he was in the care of Pharaoh, when he was a little bit older, in his older years, he was seeing all the injustices in the kingdom of Egypt, that Pharaoh was oppressing his Israelite brothers and sisters, and it was affecting him deeply. And one day when he was walking about, that he saw an Egyptian officer in a confrontation to one of his Israelite brothers. So Moses thought that an injustice was occurring, that he assumed that the officer of Egypt was oppressing the Israelite. And he went in and confronted the situation and actually hit the Egyptian officer, and he struck him so hard that that officer was killed. So in the next day, when he went back, that same Israelite brother of his was causing mischief again. And he realized then that the situation that Israelite brother was in was because due to his own fault through cause and effect, that he was creating mischief, and mischief was returning back to him. So in Moses' mind, on the day before, he thought that Allah was creating an injustice, but really it was just a balancing out of the law of cause and effect. So obviously Moses realized that his Israelite brother was the cause of the problem, and not the Egyptian guards and enforcers. And he was given word by a well-wisher of his to let him know that Pharaoh was looking for him to possibly kill him for the murder of that guard in the Egyptian army the day before. So Moses ended up fleeing. So that story illustrates, that Allah does no injustice to no one ever, that it is through the law of cause and effect. So it's very important to understand that Allah, the unique creator of all that exists, has power over all things, regulates all affairs, has dominion over everything in creation, and is closer to you than your blood and your jugular vein, and that He does no injustice to no one ever. So it's very important to understand those concepts, to know that there's no injustice that's going on except the injustice that we cause. So I have a little story as well to discuss. My son, he's in his early teens, and I've been guiding him through the years. I don't force Islam onto anybody. Everybody has their own free will choice, as Allah says in Quran chapter 2, verse 256. There's absolutely no compulsion in religion. So I just give, a little bit of guidance here and there, to my son. But in the last little while, I kind of stepped back a little bit to see how he'd fare on his own. And the other day, I mentioned to him, to take Allah as a shield, and he kind of snubbed it off and didn't. I could see in his face and the energy that he didn't believe what I was saying, that I was telling him some sort of fairy tale. So the next day, after coming home from work, he was in the bathroom bleeding profusely out of his nose, and I asked him, how long has your nose been bleeding like that? And he says, for about 30 minutes now, and it's not stopping. So I said, and he was, spitting out big clumps of blood out of his mouth, and it just was gushing out of his nose and out of his mouth. So I told him very calmly, I said, do you remember what you told me the day before? What I told you the day before, that to take Allah as your shield, and you didn't respect what I said, and you didn't believe it. And I said, you upset God, and now God is punishing you because you're not believing in Him when you used to believe Him before. And I said, what you need to do is to say sorry to God, and to ask God to help and heal you. So I went out to put some things away, and I came back about 30 or 40 seconds later, and his nose had completely stopped bleeding. And I asked him, did you ask God for help? And he said, yes, I asked God for help. So that is the key to healing, is to make people realize that Allah, the unique creator of all that exists, has power over all things. And a lot of the ailments and problems that we have is just we don't recognize the truth and we don't live it. So the key to health and goodness in this world is to realize the unique creator of all that exists is in everything, that we should always be thankful for the food that we eat, always have a good connection and good feelings towards everyone and everything in creation, even the ones that are that don't believe. We need to try to help them as well. And it is up to Allah what He does with His creation in the end. So, in summary, we need to realize that Allah, the unique creator of all exists, is one, and that we are all one with God. We are one with all the planets and all the universe. We are one with each other. No matter what we look like, for what we say, we are still all one with each other. And to realize that Allah, we are all existing within Allah, the unique creator of all that exists. And if you want help or protection, you need to turn to Allah and realize that He has power over all things, that He can heal you in an instant. He can give you deep understanding in an instant. And to always seek guidance from Allah, the unique creator of all that exists, to increase our light, to always ask for protection from Allah, the unique creator of all that exists, and to know that we are one together. And the role of Imam Mahdi is to help guide the people to realize the oneness of Allah, and to really live it, to really express it, to really put it out there for people to really feel it and experience Allah, to really, to show kindness, to show, you can be either selfish and go with your own desires, or you can be unselfish and go with what Allah prescribes. Giving charity, and doing good deeds to others you forget about yourself. You become more with the whole. You look at things in a holistic, perspective, which that's how Allah is. Allah is holistic. He's everything. We need to start changing our mentality, our understanding, to realize that we are one in everything. We are one with Allah. We are one together. And we need to develop systems that imbue and realize these realizations, to express these realizations in creation, so that we can bring the light of Allah deeper into the creation, so we can live that paradise and blissful state consistently and regularly in our creation, and disperse the falsehoods, disperse the fear, and live in the abundance and glory of Allah, the unique creator of all that exists. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Take Allah as your shield. Always seek knowledge from Allah. Seek the light of Allah. And let's be one. Let's think as one. Let's be like brothers and sisters, and oneness in humanity within Allah, the unique creator of all that exists. And to do all the things that Allah makes lawful, and stay away from the unlawful things that He forbids, so we stay pure and strong and close with Allah, the unique creator of all that exists. Thank you. I hope this video helps. Take care. Peace.